kind of icky, you know, rotting in the sun. So where does all that go? There's none of it left by snowfall. Not a bit. No skeletons. And not just for the family, but for dogs. You know, I remember when the first snow machine, it was a little red thing. It was so primitive by today's standards, but it was flown in on a bush. But take a look. Watch it come down over the water. It's going to come and land. Look at the backyard. The little house on the right. All these houses are year-round homes, by the way. There's no summer cottages. Take you all the way around the calendar. What those people did was live in the garage while they were building their home. Not a member. Officials remember was Captain Binkley's oldest grandson. He was 9 years old, deckhand, full uniform, hard worker, and had a half a stripe on his shoulder. he'll be working this summer too. Pretty house on the right. I noticed your eyes looking at that. Isn't that lovely? That's white so they can see out. Those uneven beams on this side, those hanging down high to keep away from the animals, to keep it off the snow. These homes, just about everything you'll see. You know, there's no aids to navigation on this river. Wouldn't do you any good. The channel changes. You can see a blanket of it that just kind of lays over. Underneath it is permafrost. It's not so, not even 2 feet deep. A foot deep is about what it is. And the permafrost starts right under it. It's a glacial material apparatus on that. Now we know that the fish, when they migrate upstream, swim right along the banks because they're smelling their way back to their spawning stream. Since we pick up the salmon, we're going to return it right to the water and let it continue to swim because it's not a legal fish day. Now, I don't know if we're going to catch a salmon or not, but what we've done in anticipation of this trip is we have never went back to Wisconsin. But she lived by herself in a little cabin along the Alaska Railroad track. And she hauled awfully dry. But you couldn't have big windows like that with as cold as it would get. In fact, the colder it gets, the more it sucks the moisture out of the air. We have thermal windows now. Lots of insulation. If you didn't have thermal windows, a good hunter, and they looked for a man, a wife that could make beautiful clothes and take care of a family, was a good cook, and all those things. So the more talented. Well, look at those dogs run. Those are huskies. Those are the dogs that take her on the long races. Now, she's going to stop and we're going to give her the microphone and she'll introduce her team and herself and tell you a little bit about the long distance race. As we get a little closer here, we'll give the microphone to her. Now, if you want to see the dogs, look at her pull. They're just dragging it on the ground. It is a little harder, but they can do it. Come in. She talks to them all the time. Nice white shirt there, beautiful.
This winter we had about 3 weeks of close to 60 below zero. That has all the fluffy fur in the ground, he's still in the middle of shedding out his coat. He'll be a lot more comfortable in another week or so.